This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.
In the headlines, a chilling deadlock in the world's most vital waterway. Eerie drone footage reveals ghost ships stalled in the Strait of Hormuz. Dozens of commercial vessels are trapped in a volatile standoff between a U.S. naval blockade and Iranian restrictions, a deadlock persisting since the collapse of peace talks in Islamabad. High-stakes diplomacy at the Great Hall of the People. Chinese Premier Li Qiang meet with tech titans Elon Musk, Jensen Huang, and Tim Cook. The Silicon Valley heavyweights joining the delegation of President Trump are in Beijing to navigate the future of global innovation and trade. In the Middle East, a warning of imminent action. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declares the campaign against Iran is not over, even as historic peace talks with Lebanon resume in Washington amid a flurry of deadly drone strikes. Tehran frames its conflict as a battle for the new world order. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi calls on the global south to shatter U.S. impunity, positioning Iran at the front line of a non-Western global architecture. A deepening crisis in Gaza City. Over 70,000 children are now at risk of starvation as displaced families rely on a single daily meal from overcrowded charity kitchens to survive a crippling fuel and food shortage. Back at home, the NBI breaks its silence on controversial drilling at the Senate GSIS access door. Director Melvin Matibag denies claims of an arrest assault, insisting the operation was a security request from GSIS management. In Moscow, Vladimir Putin vows a domestic production blitz. The Russian president declares the nation must seize the technological keys to its own future, citing the need for total industrial independence under Western pressure. And in the NBA playoffs, James Harden takes over. A vintage performance from the Beard Powers. The Cleveland Cavaliers passed the Pistons in an overtime thriller as Cleveland takes control of the Eastern Conference semifinals. I'm Carlo De La Peña. Newsline World starts now. In the news, President Donald Trump has formally invited Chinese President Xi Jinping to the United States for a state visit this September. The announcement came during a banquet in Beijing, capping off a 3-day trip that has been defined by both personal reports and stark warnings over the future of Taiwan. Angel Pastor has the details.
At the Great Hall of the People, President Donald Trump invited President Xi Jinping and First Lady Peng Liyuan to the White House on September 24th. Trump praised the rich and enduring ties between the two nations, describing the bond as a very special relationship.
Thank you again, President Xi, for this beautiful welcome, and tonight it is my honor to extend an invitation to you and Madam Peng to visit us at the White House this September 24th, and we look forward to it. And I'd now like to raise a glass and propose a toast to the rich and enduring ties between the American and Chinese people. It's a very special relationship, and I want to thank you again. This has been an amazing period of time.
Meanwhile, Xi proposed a toast at the state banquet for China and the United States.
Now please join me in a toast to the development and prosperity of China and the United States and the well-being of our people, to the bright future of China-US relations and the friendship between the two peoples, and to the health of President Trump and all the friends present. Cheers.
Ganbei.
Cheers.
The day began with a formal welcome ceremony and a visit to the historic Temple of Heaven. However, the diplomatic optics were not without tension. Observers noted a memorable moment during the pair's initial handshake where Trump appeared to use his signature pull technique only for President Xi to calmly reassert his own physical authority. During their private talks, the leaders exchanged contrasting but respectful views. While Xi urged that the two superpowers be partners, not rivals, Trump doubled down on his personal admiration for his counterpart. Despite the cordiality, the underlying geopolitical friction remained clear. According to Chinese state media, President Xi delivered a blunt message regarding regional security, stating that the Taiwan issue is the most important and potentially dangerous factor in their bilateral relations. Xi warned that mishandling the issue could push both nations toward a direct conflict. This visit marks Trump's second state visit to China and the first for any U.S. president in nearly a decade. Originally scheduled for April, the trip was delayed at the request of the U.S. due to the ongoing conflict with Iran. Reporting for Newsline World, Angel Pastor, SMNI News.
In a historic gathering at a Great Hall of the People, Chinese Premier Li Qiang met with the heavyweights of American technology. Joining the diplomatic delegation of President Donald Trump, tech titans Elon Musk, Jensen Huang, and Tim Cook sat down with China's second-in-command to navigate the future of global innovation and trade. Daniela Paulite reports.
The high-stakes meeting highlighted the enduring, yet complex, business ties between China and America's most powerful tech firms. Premier Li Qiang hosted the group on Thursday, urging for win-win partnership and a stable economic environment despite ongoing geopolitical friction between the two superpowers. Executives from the world's most valuable companies, including Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple, occupied the front row of the economic talks. Elon Musk's appearance in Beijing also drew significant attention as the billionaire entrepreneur continues expanding Tesla's presence in the Chinese market. The meeting comes as China seeks to reassure foreign investors and maintain stable relations with international businesses despite ongoing geopolitical and trade tensions. Observers say the talks underscore the importance of China-U.S. business engagement, particularly in the technology and innovation sectors. Reporting for Newsline World, Daniela Paulite, SMNI News.
Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declared on Thursday that the military campaign against Iran is not over, signaling a potential return to full-scale hostilities just as historic peace talks with Lebanon reopen in Washington. Verhil Parba reports.
In Jerusalem, Defense Minister of Israel Katz warned that the state of Israel is prepared to act soon to ensure Iran never returns to being an existential threat. Katz credited the February 28 assassination of the late Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei for thwarting the main enemy, but insisted that the mission to dismantle Tehran's extermination plan remains incomplete.
איראן ספגה מכות קשות ביותר בשנה האחרונה. מכות שהחזירו את השנים אחורה בכל התחומים, והסרנו איומי השמדה מעל מדינת ישראל, וסיכלנו את הצורר הראשי, מוביל תוכנית ההשמדה חמינאי. ועם זאת, משימתנו לא תמה. עלינו להשלים את יעדי המערכה באופן שיבטיח שאיראן לא תשוב להיות איום על קיומה של מדינת ישראל, על כוחותיה של ארצות הברית ועל כל העולם החופשי לדורות קדימה. כפי שאמרתי גם בעבר, אנחנו ערוכים לאפשרות שיתכן וגם בקרוב נידרש לשוב ולפעול כדי להבטיח את מימוש היעדים האלה.
The rhetoric comes to a critical diplomatic junction while President Trump is in Beijing discussing the Iran war with Xi Jinping. His administration has rejected Tehran's latest peace proposal as totally unacceptable. In Washington, a third round of direct talks between Israeli and Lebanese representatives began Thursday. These talks aim to secure a permanent treaty before the current 3-week ceasefire extension expires on Monday, May 18. Despite the diplomatic push, the yellow line in southern Lebanon remains a flashpoint. Just hours before the Washington talks commenced, a Hezbollah drone strike wounded several Israeli civilians near the border, prompting immediate retaliatory airstrikes from the IDF in Nabateh and the Bekaa Valley. This has been Verhil Parba, your global citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
In China, the line between fantasy and reality is blurring as students and tourists flock to the Shenzhen Science and Technology Museum. The facility is drawing millions by turning cutting-edge innovations into an immersive playground. Joy Tabanao has the story.
From mind control devices to high-speed robotics, the Shenzhen Sci-Tech Museum is redefining the modern museum experience. Visitors are ditching look but don't touch galleries for hands-on, AI-powered displays that challenge the limits of human-machine interaction.
贴了有7、8个吧。最喜欢哪个？就那皮毛球，那几页让我感到科学的强悍。然后那皮毛球样子让机器演的那么厉害。
It's not just local students. The museum has become a global magnet. International visitors say the facility offers a glimpse into a future that usually only exists in movies, providing an immersive education that traditional classrooms simply can't match.
科幻照进现实，这些东西跟我们学校里学的也不一样。就比如说这是脑力控制的东西，我们也从来没有见过，所以我觉得是一个全新，然后呢是个非常有意义的体验。
我觉得这里非常有科技感，非常好玩吧。我这是第2次来到这个地方，感觉这里有些项目变多了，科技也变多了。
Located in China's tech capital, the museum is now a premier hub for innovation and cultural exchange, seeing massive surges in foot traffic from both domestic and overseas crowds.
我们场馆的平日客流呢，在2000到5000人，在节假日的话呢，我们基本上每天是3万人左右。今年以来，我们境外的客流呢也显著提升。
Museum officials say the attraction continues to expand with more advanced exhibits and growing visitor numbers. By partnering with leading tech firms and even the science fiction industry, the museum ensures its exhibits evolve as fast as the technology itself, promising a new experience with every visit. This has been Faith Agustin, your citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Up next, in Moscow, Vladimir Putin vows a domestic production blitz. The Russian president declares the nation must seize the technological keys to its own future, citing the need for total industrial independence under Western pressure. And the NBI breaks its silence on the controversial drilling at the Senate GSIS access door. Director Melvin Matibag denies claims of an arrest assault, insisting the operation was a security request from GSIS management. More news when Newsline World returns.
Sa bawat panahon ng krisis, may mga tinig na patuloy na nagtatanong. Hindi para sirain ang pamahalaan, kundi para panagutin ito.
That the President's role is to defend press freedom and not lead in destroying it or demeaning its practitioners.
Mga salitang minsang nagbigay pag-asa sa malayang pamamahayag.
It is my duty for which I ask no special favor, but only fairness, which every citizen, be he the leader of the land or a tiller of the soil, deserves from the fourth estate.
Sapagkat ang media ay hindi kaaway ng gobyerno. Ito ay bantay ng bayan.
Unlike many of my predecessors, I do not seek collaboration, for that implies a surrender of your independence.
Ang tunay na malayang media, hindi sunod-sunuran, hindi tahimik, hindi takot.
I am of the opinion that national interest is better served by a press that is critical rather than a press that is cooperative.
Dahil sa isang demokrasya, ang mapanuring media ay hindi hadlang sa pamahalaan. Ito ang nagpapatibay dito.
It must have the untrammeled freedom to do its work, not just to arm the citizenry with the truth, but also to deepen discernment in this age of mass disinformation.
Sa panahon ng disinformation, mas mahalaga ang katotohanan, mas mahalaga ang malayang pamamahayag.
The principal role of the press is not to applaud those who govern, but you hold us accountable without holding back and giving praise to those who deserve it and providing criticism for those who deserve that.
Ang kritikal na media ay hindi kalaban ng gobyerno. Ito ay haligi ng demokrasya. Panindigan natin ang kalayaan sa pamamahayag. Ang katotohanan ay hindi dapat katakutan. Sa isang tunay na demokrasya, ang malayang pamamahayag ay hindi dapat pinatatahimik. Ito ay pinakikinggan. Ang kritikal na media ay hindi kalaban ng gobyerno. Ito ay haligi ng demokrasya. Panindigan natin ang kalayaan sa pamamahayag. Para sa Diyos at Pilipinas nating mahal, kasama nyo ang SMNI sa panatang ito.
Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano is fired up, rejecting accusations that Wednesday night's shooting incident at the Senate was a diversionary tactic. Cayetano also revealed the shocking details behind Senator Bato de la Rosa's sudden departure from the compound. President Catarong has the news.
The Senate is under attack, was under attack. All of you, your lives were in danger last night.
Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano could not hide his emotions as he faced the media, specifically addressing claims that the exchange of gunfire inside the Senate was scripted drama.
Nagko-focus kami dito, hinihintay namin articles of impeachment. Nakita nyo naman lahat ng pangyayari. Napakagaling ko naman mag-orchestrate ng lahat na yan. Kaya kong papuntahin dito mga armadong grupo.
Cayetano explained that the office of the Senate Sergeant at Arms discovered armed men had breached the building. The tension erupted after OIC Mau Aplaska questioned the men, one of whom reportedly shouted NBI. When the group refused to drop their weapons, Senate security fired 27 warning shots, while 5 shots were allegedly fired by the intruding group. Authorities are now investigating how the men reached the second floor, a high-security zone housing the session hall and the office of the Senate President.
Ang sabi sa akin ni Sec. John Vic, binabacktrace nila. They got a lot of IDs. Sa the guy na bumalik, pinabalik daw siya para kunin yung bag. Puno ng maraming IDs sa bag. So they got his fingerprints. They were bringing him to Pasay for inquest.
Meanwhile, the Senate President confirmed that Senator Bato de la Rosa has left the building, effectively ending his protective custody. Cayetano revealed he received a text message from de la Rosa's wife explaining that the senator chose to leave voluntarily to prevent further violence within the institution.
And good PM, sir, in behalf of my family, we would like to thank you and all the other senators for all the support you have done for my husband. At the same time, I'd also like to ask for forgiveness for all the confusion and havoc it has created in the Senate. It is for this reason I am sure that Ronald made his, in quotation mark, escape. He told me habang tumatagal kasi siya dyan sa loob ay mas nadadamay pa kayo. Alam naming hindi lulusubin ng NBI at CIDG and police o sino pang mga militar ang Senate kung wala siya sa loob. Kaya kahit na gaano siya ka-safe dyan, mas nangibabaw pa rin para sa kanya ang safety ng lahat. Nung umalis ako ng Senate 9 p.m. para umuwi kami sa bahay, last namin na pag-usapan, dyan muna siya mag-stay put. Dyan, yung stay put lang raw siya dyan sa loob kasi safer for him. Total may 72 hours TRO. Nagulat at natakot na lang kami for his safety nung narinig namin na sa labas na siya. Wala sa plano but knowing him, I am sure he took the opportunity nung nagkaguluhan at nagkaputukan na.
Cayetano stated there was nothing the Senate could do since De La Rosa's departure was voluntary. Consequently, he is no longer under Senate protective custody. According to an OSA spot report, De La Rosa was seen leaving the premises with Senator Robin Padilla at around 2:30 a.m. on Thursday. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been President Catarong, SMNI News.
The National Bureau of Investigation addressed the controversial drilling operation at an access door connecting the Senate and the GSIS building. NBI Director Melvin Matibag insists that the move was not part of an arrest assault unit but rather a security request from GSIS management. NBI Director Melvin Matibag said that the drilling captured on video was not an attempt to breach the Senate, but a move to permanently seal the access area. According to Matibag, they had to drill out the lock because the keys to the door were held by the Senate side. The director explained that GSIS manager or general manager Vic Veloso requested the closure of the passageway, claiming it was no longer secure and was being used as an unmonitored entry point for various individuals. The primary concern, according to the GSIS, was to regain control over the premises and ensure the safety of their employees. Footages of the incident show that after the drilling was completed, heavy metal cabinets were positioned in front of the door to block any further passage. Despite the explanation, the incident continues to spark intense debate online, with many questioning why NBI agents, rather than maintenance or security personnel, were the ones carrying out the drilling operation. President Vladimir Putin says foreign policy challenges have forced Russia's hand, necessitating a complete overhaul of the nation's industrial independence. Jade Calabroso reports.
Addressing a machine-building industry congress in Moscow, President Vladimir Putin turned the spotlight on Russia's struggle with international sanctions. He argued that current foreign policy hurdles have finally proven that Russia can no longer rely on outside partners for its most fundamental needs.
Сама жизнь, вызовы, с которыми мы столкнулись, доказали правильность тезиса о том, что нам необходимо самостоятельно производить критически важную продукцию, иметь свои технологические ключи ко всем производствам, которые принципиально значимы для экономики, для повышения жизни людей и, разумеется, для обеспечения безопасности государства.
Putin praised the industrial sector's resilience, claiming that domestic manufacturers have successfully reorganized logistics chains despite a total breakdown in communication with foreign partners. He described the shift as a demonstration of non-standard approaches by Russian companies operating under the weight of what he calls unfriendly countries. However, Putin was quick to clarify that self-reliance does not mean total isolation. He emphasized that while Russia is strengthening its technological sovereignty, it still intends to expand alliances, just not with the Western nations that have targeted its banking and tech sectors since the 2022 conflict between Russia and Ukraine broke out.
Зная, что многие полагают, что инструментов, которые предлагаются правительством, может быть и недостаточно, но они все-таки есть. И многие, в том числе и присутствующие в этом зале, этими инструментами пользуются и весьма успешно. При этом, вновь подчеркну, укрепляя наш технологический суверенитет, мы не собираемся замыкаться в себе. Напротив, намерены создавать и расширять взаимовыгодные альянсы с другими государствами.
As Moscow doubles down on domestic manufacturing, the success of this import substitution strategy remains the central pillar of Putin's plan to outlast Western economic warfare. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Jade Calabroso, SMNA News.
When we return, a chilling deadlock in the world's most vital waterway. Eerie drone footage reveals ghost ships stalled in the Strait of Hormuz. Dozens of commercial vessels are trapped in a volatile standoff between a U.S. naval blockade and Iranian restrictions, a deadlock persisting since the collapse of peace talks in Islamabad. And Tehran frames its conflict as a battle for the new world order. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi calls on the Global South to shatter U.S. impunity, positioning Iran at the front line of a non-Western global architecture. Newsline World will be back after the break.
For years, Sunshine Media Network International has remained committed to delivering truth that matters. Anchored on the principles of responsible journalism, the network prioritizes facts, clarity, and information that truly matters to the public. SMNI provides a platform for voices that are often unheard, stories that deserve attention, and issues that demand understanding. Public service and national interest remain at the heart of every broadcast. Through consistent reporting and meaningful programming, SMNI continues to strengthen credibility and build public trust. This commitment to truthful and relevant reporting has not gone unnoticed. Over the years, SMNI has received various awards and recognitions from different institutions and organizations. These honors highlight the network's contributions to public service, broadcasting excellence, and nation-oriented programming. Each recognition stands as a testament to SMNI's dedication to responsible journalism and meaningful storytelling. More importantly, these accolades reflect the confidence and trust placed by the public and partner institutions. Guiding this mission is the vision of the network's honorary chairman, Pastor Apollo C. Kibaloy. His leadership underscores the belief that media can be a powerful force for nation building. Under this vision, SMNI promotes unity, moral values, and responsible citizenship among Filipinos. Programs are designed not only to inform, but also to inspire and empower communities. Because for SMNI, the mission goes beyond broadcasting. It is about contributing to the progress and development of the nation. This commitment to service extends beyond the television screen. Through the SMNI Foundation, the network implements humanitarian and community outreach initiatives across the country. Programs provide assistance to communities, children, and families in need, bringing help where it matters most. SMNI also works hand-in-hand with its partner organizations, including the Sunshine Philippines Movement, the Keepers Club International, and the Children's Joy Foundation Incorporated. Together, these organizations promote volunteerism, compassion, and social responsibility. Their programs demonstrate SMNI's commitment to real public service, turning advocacy into action. SMNI, delivering truth that matters for nation building.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi delivered a defiant address to the BRICS ministerial meeting in New Delhi on Thursday, positioning Iran's resistance against the US and Israel as a frontline defense for a new non-Western global architecture. Almar Forsuelo has more.
The host of New Delhi's BRICS summit became a platform for a biting critic of Western power. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, representing a nation still navigating a fragile ceasefire and a punishing naval blockade, told his counterparts that Iran has been the victim of two brutal and unlawful aggressions by the US and Israel in less than a year. Araghchi framed the current conflict not as a regional dispute, but as a historic struggle between a declining imperial power and a rising global south. He urged BRICS members, including heavyweights Russia, India, and China, to explicitly condemn what he termed as state piracy and lawful expansionism.
This all matters to the BRICS Plus group of countries because the battle Iran has fought is in defense of all of us, of the new world that we are building together. Our brave soldiers have given their lives to resist Western hegemony and the sense of impunity that the US believes it is entitled to. While Iran is grateful for the support and solidarity it has received from BRICS countries, it is imperative that we jointly step up our work towards ending this sense of entitlement, which has no place in today's world.
The foreign minister's remarks come at a moment of extreme diplomatic friction. Earlier this week, U.S. President Donald Trump dismissed Tehran's latest peace proposal as a piece of garbage, admitting he had not even read the document. Araghchi countered that there is no military solution to issues involving Iran, warning that the nation only emerges stronger and more united under pressure.
As I have repeatedly stated, there is no such thing as a military solution to anything related to Iran. We Iranians never bow to any pressure or threat, but we reciprocate the language of respect. As much as our powerful armed forces remain ready to exact devastating retribution on foreign aggressors, my people are peace-loving and do not seek war. We are not aggressor in this sordid situation, but the aggrieved.
Throughout the two-day summit, BRICS ministers are reviewing 20 years of cooperation with a heavy focus on creating a humane global order where might can never make right. Reported for Newsline World, Almar Forsuelo, SMNI News.
New drone footage captured over the Strait of Hormuz shows dozens of commercial vessels anchored in a volatile deadlock. The strategic waterway remains a flashpoint as Iran maintains restrictions on navigation while the United States continues its naval blockade of Iranian ports, a standoff that has persisted since the collapse of peace talks in Islamabad. Grace Morales has a story.
Drone footage filmed recently reveals an eerie scene in the Strait of Hormuz. Lines of massive cargo ships and tankers sitting idle. The congestion comes as Tehran continues to control maritime traffic, though Iranian state television announced that 30 ships were permitted to pass through the strait starting Wednesday night. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi recently insisted the waterway remains open to commercial shipping on the condition that vessels cooperate fully with Iranian naval forces. However, the situation remains complicated by a heavy American presence. U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly vowed to maintain a naval blockade of all Iranian ports, calling the operation fully effective in cutting off the regime's economic lifelines. Despite a temporary ceasefire announced by Trump on April 8 to facilitate negotiations, talks held in Islamabad ended without a permanent agreement. With no diplomatic resolution in sight, the strait remains a double blockade zone where Iranian forces restrict the passage out and U.S. forces prevent any authorized entry into Iranian docks. Reporting for Newsline World, this is Grace Morales, SMNI News.
Amid soaring market prices and a crippling shortage of fuel, displaced Palestinians in western Gaza City are relying on a single daily meal from overcrowded charity kitchens to stave off starvation. Joy Tabanao reports.
In the Ansar district of Gaza City, the sounds of war have been replaced by the weary shuffling of thousands in line. Men, women, and children, some holding empty plastic yogurt containers, others clutching battered metal pots, wait for hours under the sun for what has become their only guaranteed meal. For families like Muhammad Shamali's, the open-air market has become a place of ghosts, with no income and vegetable prices reaching astronomical heights. The charity kitchen is no longer an option, it is a necessity.
احنا هنا بنعتمد على التكية في ظل الظروف الصعبة اللي لسه بنمر فيها وبنعيشها خلال فترة الحرب. عائلة أسرتي مكونة من 4 أنفار، ما فيش لسه الخضرة غالية برضو قد ما كان الأسعار لسه مش متناول إن نقدر نشتريها. هذا اللي بنيجي من التكية هنا عشان إن نوفر الأكل وكمان الغاز وشح الغاز عندنا في البلد، فعشان ما نلجأش للنار وصعوبة النار برضو نيجي بناخد هنا احنا التكية عشان ايش بتكون أسهل إلنا ولأولادنا.
According to the United Nations, the humanitarian corridor remains virtually paralyzed. Major crossings, including Rafah, are shattered, and severe fuel rationing has halted the operation of most bakeries and desalination plants. In some sectors, residents have been reduced to surviving on just 2 liters of water per day for all needs, drinking, cooking, and hygiene.
الواحد لو صفر على التكية وجاب وجبة الأكل وطعم أولاده الحمد لله هو ملك بأبدا. بالنسبة للمساعدات أجبنا رسالة توجه بنتوجه ما جد ماشي قاعدين بنستنى فرج الله.
The medical community is now warning of a catastrophic generational impact. The Gaza Center for Human Rights estimates that throughout 2026, more than 71,000 children under the age of 5 will face severe acute malnutrition. While the Trump 20-point plan proposes a transition toward large-scale reconstruction and a technocratic government, for the families in Ansar, the golden age promised by Washington remains a distant mirage behind a fence of hunger. This has been Joy Tibinao, your global citizen correspondent reporting for Newsline World.
Hit HBO series The White Lotus is heading to Paris for its upcoming 4th season, with luxury hotel Mandarin Oriental Lutetia confirmed as one of the filming locations. Meanwhile, the Fast and Furious franchise took center stage at the Cannes Film Festival with a special midnight screening and cast reunion celebrating the long-running street racing saga. Daniela Paulite for the updates.
Luxury Hotel Mandarin Oriental Lutetia announced that it had been selected as part of the major international production following HBO's confirmation that The White Lotus will film its upcoming 4th season in France. Known for its glamorous and high-end settings, The White Lotus has previously boosted tourism interest in destinations featured throughout the series. The Mandarin Oriental Lutetia, a historic Paris landmark established in 1910, is regarded as one of the city's iconic luxury hotels. Fans are already anticipating how Paris will serve as the backdrop for the next chapter of the acclaimed series. The Cannes Film Festival introduced some film goers and critics to the blockbuster Fast and Furious franchise for the first time, as the series marked nearly 25 years since its debut. The franchise helped establish Vin Diesel as one of Hollywood's biggest action stars and evolved into one Universal Pictures' most successful global film properties. This series also carries emotional significance for fans following the death of co-star Paul Walker, who died in a car crash in 2013 during the production of Furious 7. The Cannes screening highlighted the enduring cultural impact and worldwide popularity of the Fast and Furious franchise as it continues to attract new audiences. Reporting for Newsline World, Daniela Paulite, Azamani News.
In sports, New Zealand Olympian Billy Stearman is preparing for a career milestone as he gets set to compete in a World Surf League Championship Tour event on his home waves in Raglan. Meanwhile, James Harden delivered a standout performance as the Cleveland Cavaliers rallied past the Detroit Pistons to take control of their Eastern Conference semifinal series. Two-time Olympian Billy Stearman received a wild card entry to the New Zealand Pro, marking his first appearance on surfing's top-level championship tour. The 36-year-old surfer grew up in the small beachside town of Raglan and learned the sport on the same waves where the tournament will now be held. Stearman's journey to the elite stage has been shaped by both triumph and tragedy, having lost his mother Anita to breast cancer in 2016 and his younger brother Zale in a car accident in 2022. Despite those personal losses, Stearman continued pursuing his dream and became New Zealand's first Olympic surfer, representing the country at both the Tokyo 2020 and Paris 2024 Games. He says surfing has helped him find peace during difficult moments and hopes his story can inspire younger athletes to overcome challenges in life. The New Zealand Pro, scheduled from May 15 to 25, will also mark the first World Surf League Championship Tour stop in New Zealand, featuring both men's and women's competitions. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers erased a late 9-point deficit before defeating Detroit 117-113 in overtime on Wednesday to grab a 3-2 series lead. James Harden scored a playoff-best 30 points, while Donovan Mitchell added 21, including a crucial three-pointer in overtime that helped Cleveland pull away. The Cavs trailed 103-94 with just over 2 minutes left in regulation before launching a 13-0 run that stunned the Pistons and forced overtime. Evan Mobley tied the game from the free throw line late in the fourth quarter, while Cleveland's defense held Detroit scoreless for nearly 5 minutes, spanning regulation and overtime. Cade Cunningham led the Pistons with 39 points and 9 assists, but Detroit failed to hold on despite leading by as many as 15 points earlier in the game. The Cavaliers now head back to Cleveland for Game 6 on Friday, where they will have the chance to clinch a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals against the New York Knicks. And before we end, may you be inspired with the words of the Sun. Your future depends on when you are now, not your past. Forget your past, bury it, grow up, and move on. And that's all for today's edition of Newsline World. For God, my beloved country, the Philippines, I'm Carlo de la Peña. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.